Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Miss Janines Southern Kitchen. Now, y'all help me out. We're going to learn her how to be a YouTuber. So, what are we going to make today, Mama?
We're going to make your bone soup.
Bone soup.
We normally make it out of deer meat or neck bones, but Ricky found some beef bones at the store, and so we're going to do some beef bones here. And I normally don't use them, but he likes to gnaw on the bones, so we're gonna give this a try and see how it turns out.
Yep. Now this is a very inexpensive supper. It'll make a lot for a lot of people. So and we've done this for what, 30 years or more, 40 years almost.
Your mama always made this. It's a twist on potato soup, more or less, except you're using the bones for seasoning.
Yep. And there's some meat on when you get soup bones. These are that's beef neck bones, ain't it?
Yeah, this is the
we
beef.
found those at the store yesterday. What's the price on those?
$4.88.
$4.88 for a pack of neck bone. Now, when I was a kid, neck bones and that kind of thing was basically almost free.
Yeah.
Even when our kids was coming up. But still, this is going to feed a lot of people for not much money.
And it freezes well. I mean, it's just like a potato soup, so you can use your, inexpensive Bluebonnet tub butter things in the freezer.
Yep. Or you
and
can
freeze it later. See, Bluebonnet, no.
Yep. Or you can can it. You can do all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll do this again later on with different kinds of bones. But for right now, we got beef neck bones.
Yes. So I'm gonna get my water out of our purifier over here that Ricky has installed in our kitchen. I like it. It's close to my refrigerator, and I can fill my ice cube trays really fast. But I'm just gonna get me some water here. I just kind of cover the neck bones. I don't put a whole lot of water because later you can always add some more water to it. You mainly just want to boil the bones. And this is just a 4-cup measuring cup. And it should cover my bones. If not, we'll add some more. But while we're doing this, I'm gonna start my fire with my professional fire starter here on my stove. If I can get it to click. Of course, it's not going to. There we go. And we'll just let that kind of come up. And I'm gonna put some salt in the water. I always salt my water for everything. So you just sprinkle a little salt, nothing major, and then we'll just put a lid on it so it comes to a quicker boil. And while we're doing that, I've been watching cooking videos, so that's why he says I've got to do these videos. So, like I said, I always usually use deer meat or pork, which they have a lot of flavor in them, even if you cook with chicken. But the beef, I've never used it much, and what I've heard about it is you should fry it in the pan first to bring those seasonings out, or juices, I guess you would say, for the seasonings. I've got my different pans here because later I'm going to make cornbread to go with it. I like to put my cornbread in the bottom of the bowl, pour the soup over it. Ricky just kind of dunks his. But I'm just going to let the pan get hot for just a second. I was always taught that you wash your meat before you use it, but they say that loses a lot of the flavoring. I know on pork it's better to wash it just because you get those little pieces of where they cut it and stuff. But these look pretty good. I don't see anything on them that really, and I'm going to cook them twice, so I think they'll be okay without the washing of them off. But I'm going to put just a little of my vegetable oil in the bottom of the pan. I don't know, that's just a dab, whatever you want to call it. Move that back out of the way. And we're going to wait till that gets a little bit hotter. And then we'll set those in it. And I'm just going to put some salt and pepper on them.
No, you can't see what you do.
Oh,
what
I'm
you doing,
sorry.
Mama? There you go.
Yeah. I'm not used to somebody watching me while I'm doing things, so you'll have to forgive me if I get in the way. So just a little salt and pepper on them. And we'll just bring those juices out. We'll see if this works. Like I said, I don't normally use this with it, and then I just pour it in my sauce container. But that's okay too. And this is my pans and things for later when I do my cornbread and I do my fixings. I gotta cut up my onions and things. So we're gonna try putting these down in there just to bring the little juices out. Pan's not quite hot enough because it's not sizzling. It should sizzle when you put it in there. We'll just kind of set it. It'll still get, see that one sizzled a little more. I'll just put these around in here like this. And we'll just let them sit there for just a second. We'll flip them over and then we'll just pour that over into our water. And that'll have our flavoring with the oil. I mean, I'll pick them up, put them over. I'm not actually going to pour them over. Get this out of the way. And we'll put a little more salt and pepper on the other side. But didn't get any. And we'll leave it like that for just a minute. And we'll come back in a second. Alright, while the meat is still over here sizzling a little bit, I hadn't turned it over on the second side yet. I'm just cutting up my onions. I know I can't do that do stuff. I just do it old-timey. Possibly cut your fingers off because this is a knife Ricky has sharpened. And I don't use his Wallace Knife Work knives because I would not have any digits left on my hand because they are that sharp. So I've got this special little one and you can see where he sharpened it for me. But I have to be careful or like I said, I won't have any digits left. And I don't do a real fine chop. I just do a normal cut up here. And this will go in the pan after I take the meat out. And that'll get those, start cooking. Move these over and we'll put this over here in the bowl. Messy cooker, messy cooker. Who's my cleanup person? Ricky, you clean it up for me?
What?
Yeah, that was a pause.
Can't see what you're doing.
Oh.
No, that was good.
Alright, I'm going to try and turn this over because it's sizzling a little. We're just going to turn it over in the pan. This is a work in progress. Like I said, it's to get the flavors started in the meat. Your meat is bloody and stuff to start with. And they say if you get it kind of cooking, then you drop it in that water, it works better. Like I said, usually we use deer meat. And Ricky lets it hang, and we don't have a lot of the blood and stuff left in it. And, but we didn't have any to use for today's video. So back to the celery. Hopefully I won't give y'all whiplash going back and forth. Put all these little pieces here.
Well, I think you're doing a mighty fine job. What time is it going to be ready to eat?
Oh, you really want to eat this? No. No. It doesn't take long after you put the other stuff in it. I cook the celery and the onions with the meat while it's boiling and let them get those flavors together before I add my potatoes. And then you just let your potatoes get soft like you would for potato soup. And then you add your thickeners, which we'll do that when it gets that time. And once you get your thickeners in there, then you can let it sit just for a few minutes and then it's ready to go. So we're going to see if both of these are brown pretty good on both sides. Maybe if they're thicker like that, turn them up on ends so they can brown. So you got all that red kind of a little brown color, not so much red.
You could eat those just like that almost.
Yeah, once they, you know, you get them down, you don't want them quite that red. But
beef prices nowadays are if you want the nutritional value out of meat, you got to do stuff like this. And it's good. I'm telling y'all, it's good. You'll see it in the end. You'll see it.
Alright, so we had to add a little bit more water over here because I misjudged how much I wanted. So I just added a little bit more while we was gone there for just a second. And we've got these just about where I want them. They're a little bit caramelized on the bottom. They're not translucent like Justin Wilson would say clear. But I like them like that because that still leaves a little bit of a crunch when you eat. And of course you got to have some garlic and you got to have some onion powder. So we're going to add just a little bit of garlic and a little bit of onion powder to this mixture. Then we may add some more when we put the potatoes in. But I always like to add it to my onions and celery. I added a little more salt and pepper also. So I'm going to turn this fire off and I'm going to take these over here without trying to make a mess too much. And we're just going to let them go in there for a little bit, and then we're going to let this probably boil for about an hour because it's got to come back up to a boil, and then you want it to boil really good. When it starts boiling hard again, I'll turn my burner down and we'll just let it sit there and simmer. So it'll be about an hour, and we'll come back and we'll cut up some potatoes and add to it, and then we'll let those cook for a few minutes, and we'll see you on the other side. Alright, so I'm getting ready to do my potatoes. I'm just going to quick peel them here. You can leave the skins on if you want to. Just wash the outer sides and put them in your pot. Sometimes I leave the skins on. Sometimes I take them off. It depends. If my potato soup, just potato soup, I use the red potatoes, I leave the skins on. But I just peel up my potatoes. I won't stand here and do all of them while I'm doing. I just I just cut them up just a little bit because I'm going to rinse them off before I put them in my pot, because you still have a little bit of the kind of sandy stuff from the outside of the potato peeling. And just kind of cut them up to where they're kind of the same size. And I do about 6 potatoes about this size. That does my pot real well. But I'm gonna go rinse these off, and then we'll go back to the pan and I'll show you what I do from there. Alright, so now we're ready. We're gonna take this top off here and we'll see what's inside the pan. We're gonna take the bones out while the potatoes cook, just because there's not enough room. See how it's coming off? And that's what you want, is your meat to fall off. If it falls off in the pot, that's fine. Just leave. I'm going to take these out because, like I said, there's too many to go in with the potatoes. So, and Ricky likes to gnaw on the bones. So.
Yeah, buddy. I wish y'all could smell it in here.
Let's take this out. That thing's closed up on me. The more that falls off in the water, the better. But if it don't, then you just got it to the side. I go back and cut it off, or like I said, Ricky likes to gnaw the bones, so we're gonna set that there. So I can make sure we ain't got no more bones in there.
That's what teeth are for.
Alright, so then we just got the I guess what you'd call the stock. And then you're just gonna pour the potatoes down in there. I'm gonna pour it away from the camera because I don't want it to splash too much. There we go, now we can see it. And then we're just gonna stir them around, let them sit for a minute. And just before they get just soft enough, I don't know what the terminology is, but
soft enough.
Soft enough, that's what I just said. Then we'll add the thickener to it, and I'll show you how to do that, and then it'll be ready to eat. If I can give it a chance to work before Ricky gets a hold of it.
Smells good.
Alright, so my potatoes are done, so I'm just going to thicken it. I use just my cornstarch, and I have a tablespoon. I've got my big thing again, but I put heap in tablespoons. That's 2, 3, and maybe 4. Looks like I need some more thickener. And then I add a little bit of milk. It just gives you that creamy look. You have to, with cornstarch, you have to use a cold liquid. You can't just take the cornstarch and drop it into the hot water. So I'm gonna put just a little bit, about a cup, to help activate that cornstarch. It's kind of thick as you're stirring it up. You can use your whisk or whatever. I'll just use my spoon. Some of it sticks to the bottom sometimes. When it hits the hot water over there, it'll be thicker too. But then you just let it cook a couple more minutes, and then you got your finished product. Make sure I got all the lumps out. But it'll lump up and clump up if you put it in the water hot to hot. And if it doesn't make it quite thick enough for you, then, you know, add a little bit more, but make sure you add it. But you can already tell that it's a little thicker than just a regular water in there. But you can tell the difference also. This looks more like a broth when we do the deer meat than the pork meat, because you got that thicker coloring. Ricky tasted it while we was gone a minute ago. But see, you can tell how it's thickening up. So you just let it boil a little bit, and it'll be, you know, make it to the thickness that you like. Ricky don't like it too thick. But he tasted it while we were gone. I had to put a little bit more salt in it for him. But that's how I do my bone soup. I also did a cornbread while you was gone over here. I don't normally use this little pan, but when you pour it out, it makes a nice cake of cornbread. And then you're just going to slice it up with your knife. Like I said, I put it in the bottom of the bowl for me, and Ricky, I set it to the side. But thank you for watching. I appreciate it. What?
You gonna put a bone back in there?
Oh, you want a bone back in there? Okay, I'll put your bone back in there.
One or two of them.
Just so they can get that flavor on them.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat all of them anyway.
And see, you can already see how it's thickening up. Whoop! And then I just splashed it all over the camera.
You threw that at me? Y'all see that? She threw that at me.
Gotta have one mess up. You wouldn't be a home cook if you didn't. So thank you for watching this, and I hope you like it, and y'all enjoy if y'all try my recipe.
Let's eat.